um, the whole Tradeline business.
Hello, guys.
All right, guys. So let's go to the next slide. All right, so a little bit about us. MJ Tradeline specializes in providing trade lines to individuals looking to improve their credit score. We have trade lines for both CPN users and Social Security number users. And so we'll go over what CPNs are right now. So most of you guys being, I would think, new, because that's what this webinar was catered towards, will mostly likely you just be adding it on your Social Security number. We have the largest variety out of any other trade line company and the best prices. I think there's like one or two other companies that have a similar size list as us, but we're definitely the cheapest. Half the people that buy from us are just like regular folks wanting to improve their credit, and the other half are credit repair business owners or brokers that resell our trade lines to their clients to kind of make a profit for themselves. All right, what's a CPN? A CPN is a 9-digit number that's formatted just like the Social Security number. It may be also called a credit privacy number, credit profile number, or credit protection number. Companies that sell CPNs to consumers market them as a way to hide bad credit history or bankruptcy. I'm sorry about that, guys. So sometimes CPNs, I know some of you guys, have any of you guys heard of a CPN? CPNs, sometimes they get a bad rep. You know, you see some people on Google, or I'm sorry, on YouTube saying CPNs are illegal, don't use them, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's really like it's kind of like a gun. If you think about it, it's like, are guns illegal? Well, no, they're not illegal. It depends on how you use it, right? You go shoot somebody, of course it's illegal. If you go shooting at a range, or just have it for self-protection, etc., of course it's not illegal. It's just how you use it. And so CPNs they tend to get a bad rep because sometimes people get a CPN. Again, think of it like a new Social Security number. The government allows you to have a CPN. It's actually like you're right. It's just you just have to use it correctly. From what my understanding, what the law is when anytime a government asks you for your Social Security number, you're not allowed to give them your CPN. So like for a mortgage, for example, you can't give them a CPN. For a school loan, that's the Department of Education, so you can't give them your CPN. But like if you're going to go to rent an apartment, for example, that is not the government, U.S. government. So technically you could give them a CPN, you know what I mean? So that is a difference. So again, CPNs are legal. It's just people tend to use them illegally, like meaning that what they'll do is they'll get a CPN, add trade lines to them, build up their credit to like a 750 credit score, and then they'll go get a loan or a car or something, and then they don't pay it back on purpose. So if you think of that, just that's considered fraud, you know what I mean? So it's just basically they're legal. It's just, you know, basically just use it correctly. A trade line is any account that appears on your credit report. Of course, there are different types of trade lines, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, furniture loans, jewelry loans, installment loans, and of course, credit cards of all types. We sell authorized user trade lines, which means you can pay to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card. This account will appear on your credit report showing up as authorized user status. And we'll give you an example of it right now. So, and this is also referred to as piggybacking off someone's credit history. And so just an example of this so you guys can understand it. Say you have a significant other, right? Or say I have a credit card, a $5,000 credit card. of a Capital One credit card. And for example, say I have a girlfriend or my wife, and I add her as an authorized user to my credit card. So next month on her credit report, so say I call Capital One and I add this girl to be a authorized user of my credit card. What will happen next billing cycle is on 7 to 10 days later after the billing cycle, basically like when I pay my bill, on her credit report, it will show that she has a $5,000 Capital One credit card. And assuming I paid it off and I don't owe a lot, it will benefit her. It will benefit her. So it will help increase her score, and yeah, it basically helps her with her credit. So that's basically, in a nutshell, that's what an authorized user trade line is. Okay, so why buy trade lines? When you purchase trade lines, you'll be added as an authorized user of the card that you chose. So again, we have a big trade line list, so I'll show that to you shortly. Um, so again, when you purchase a trade line, you'll be added as an authorized user of the card that you chose. In turn, this will reflect on your credit report, increase your revolving limit, and may improve your credit score. Creditors will be more likely to qualify you for a loan, a house, credit cards, or other goals. And if you notice two things, we put increase your revolving limit. So like in that example, when I was adding my girlfriend for $5,000 limit, um, say she had a credit card um, on her credit report, say she had a $2,000 credit card and she owed $2,000. So her limit is 2,000, or her utilization is basically 100% because she owes 2,000 and her limit is 2,000. But say I'm adding a trade line to her credit report for 5,000, so now it's adjusting that utilization ratio. So it's helping. So now when a lender sees her credit report, they'll say, "Oh, okay, now like this girl is a little bit more responsible with some available credit. I think we can approve her for this loan." You know what I mean? So that's how the banks see it as. And then the second thing is it may improve her credit score. So we just put that in all honesty because we're a trade line company, and what people pay us for is to add trade lines to people's credit report, not to get an exact credit score. Again, because that's up to the credit bureaus, and it depends on what you have on your credit, on your credit. Every single person's credit report is different. So it'll be, for example, so Stephanie may go up 50 points, and um, Felicia may only go up 10 points because say she has a lot of things on her credit report. So it just depends. And so that's why we use that verbiage. Um, and I'll let Harold explain how to read our trade line list.
Okay, so this is an example of our list that you may see in our emails that we send out. It's gonna have on the first column, the lender. So it's gonna be the bank that the card is issued from. This one's gonna be Wells Fargo, for example. The next one's gonna be the account age. So this is when the card was opened. So it'll reflect as December 2010 on the date it was opened on your report. The next column is gonna be the limit. This is gonna be the credit card limit that'll show reflected. And this will also be what increases on your revolving. The next one is gonna be spots. So the spots is how many more of this trade line we have to sell. So 3 more people could buy this one and be added to it, for example. The next column is gonna be the price. So this one's priced at $550. The next one's gonna be the statement date. So the statement date is the date that you must buy the trade line by. So you'll have enough time to add it on your credit report. This one's gonna be for 4/11. So you would need to purchase this one on or before that date. This is not gonna be the date it posts to your credit. It will post 7 to 10 days after this date. And then the last one is gonna be the state. So each of these trade lines have a address that's associated with them, like such as a billing address. So this one's gonna be from California. Some people like to know this just because they want to pick one in their own state. It just depends if you want that preference.
Yeah, and a little bit again, why people want to know like where the state is from. So say you're from New York, and so say a lender's looking at your credit report, and we see a trade line. Say you're from Texas, and I see on your credit report it says you have an open credit card of 19,700 from New York, and then I see one from California, another $5,300 limit. You know, I could tell they're trade lines. Um, so it helps if you pick them from your own state. It's not 100% necessary, but it helps. Every little bit helps in order to get approved for that loan or house or car, etc. So it's preferable to pick in your own state, but it's not necessary in any way.
So this is an example of how the trade lines will reflect on your credit report. This one's going to be the Wells Fargo. It's going to show revolving account, authorized user status, the balance on the card, which will always be under 30%, and the credit limit. It'll also have the date opened. So this one was opened 4/27/2023, for example. On this next slide is a side-by-side comparison from our list. So this Wells Fargo one, say you chose it from our list. Once it posts to your credit report, it'll show as so. It'll reflect on 2 bureaus. We guarantee 2 bureaus. They all have the potential to post on all 3, but in this case, this one posted to TransUnion and Experian.
And yeah, if you notice, so like again, all the limits will show. So look at the Wells Fargo, April 2023. That's how old it is. And if you can see it, you can see it on the right, date opened. Let me highlight it so it's easier. So you can see what April 2023, you know what I mean? And then there's the balance. So $46 out of 11,000. So that's less than 5%, less than 1% kind of thing. He's basically just has that balance to make sure that this credit card's open. So this is exactly what you want on your credit report. What else? And it shows revolving, meaning open, like basically a credit card or that's how lines of credit show as well. An authorized user again, because you're an authorized user. But so this is you're picking from the list, and this is how it will show up on your credit report. So again, this would show 7 to 10 days after the 16th. So if you look at the date 4/16, so you do 7 to 10 days after, and then that's when this guy had posted to his credit report. So just to kind of explain that. Let me just let some more people in real quick, and we'll go to the next slide.
Okay, so these are going to be the instructions that we provide once you purchase a trade line. So the first one is going to be that you got to make sure you don't have any fraud alerts or freezes on your report. If you're not sure, you could go ahead and make a quick call to each bureau and just have them remove them right away before purchasing. The next is you must have a monitoring site. If you don't have one as of yet, we do recommend a few right here, which is MyScoreIQ, freecreditreport.com. For our CPN users, we do require that you have 2 accounts, one of them being transunion.com, and then the other, you have a few choices of Experian.com or MyScoreIQ. The next step would be once created, the login being, you would go to the address section on the profile and simply change it to the Tradelines address that we gave you that's associated with it. So this is the steps on how to do that. You'll log into the site where you made the login, go to the account settings, look for the address tab and change the address. If it prompts you, if you've lived there for over 6 months, you confirm. From there, you'll pay for a 3 bureau credit report 7 to 10 days after the statement date. And sometimes our clients buy more than one tray line, so this is just letting them know if you bought a second tray line, that's when you'll change the address to the second one after this first report is pulled. And then from there, you'll get another three bureau report 7 to 10 days after that statement date. This one to the right is going to be an optional step, which is called a hard pull. It's basically going to apply for credit using the address provided. This is just to link your name to the address into public record. This is the easiest way. So we'll know on day 7 if you're gonna need to do this step.
And so just to clarify, like all this, it looks like a lot. Because we're sending you we're showing you all the steps at once. But so say when you order from us, it'll be pretty easy. So like you'll order from us and then we'll ask you, you know, the name, the social, and who you want the tray line added to. And then we'll send you an address and you just edit your credit monitoring site. So for example, 123 Street, and we'll send you the address. Like we'll send you an address kind of like this. Oops, sorry. We'll send you an address and you just edit it and we'll help you do it. We'll walk you through it. And then for any reason, say that's not working, and then we'll basically do a hard inquiry with the address that we give you. So again, we'll walk you through it. I don't want you thinking this is a lot of steps, but we'll walk you through each step when you buy one.
We also send you our YouTube channel that has this link, and it's basically me doing it myself, where you can follow along too. So that would be here. This again comes with when you're ordering it. It's a little blurry, but it's basically me doing the steps. That's the address that you would receive with the trade line. This would be the name, the date of birth, and then the social, the trade line that was chosen, and then the steps that we just went over. So you'd basically just copy this and paste it at the address section on the website. So let me skip on through.
You want to maximize it?
It just gets a little blurry. So yeah, I'm adding it there on Experian.com. And then I would just save and continue. And again, that's where I pulled the address from. We'd be providing it there for the trade line. You just copy and paste. For this next slide, it's gonna be some guidelines that we provide. Maybe you've seen them at the bottom of our list. It's just letting you know that trade lines with an asterisk next to them, like this Amex one that's circled, for example, are only gonna be for social security number users, and they will not work on a CPN. Will require proof that you're using a social, such as a copy of the social security card. Again, it's only for the trade lines that have an asterisk next to them, which is going to be our Amex and Discover that are shown in this picture. The next guideline is trade lines of the same color have the same address. This helps when buying multiple. So if you see this bracket of blue ones right here, Wells Fargo through Barclays, they're going to have one address. So say you want to buy 2 of these or all 4, you would only have one address you have to change on your credit report, credit login that you created. Instead, if you would have had a green and a blue one here, you would have to change the address twice. The next guideline is that Amex tray lines and only Amex tray lines will show the date when they were added to your report and not the date they were opened. So this Amex line will not show October 2020. It'll show, say today, if it was reported to your credit report. Amex is the only one that does this though, which is why we have it in our guidelines. So again, the ones with an asterisk are not CPN friendly. After you order, we will provide you with the address for your tray line to be changed. as your address on your credit login you create, such as Experian.com, for example. All trade lines purchased are yours for 30 days. If you do not see the trade line on your credit report, please notify us within 20 days after purchasing so we may help you to get it to report. It's just saying that you're gonna be on this trade line from statement date to statement date. So if you statement date's 4/19, you'll be on there till 5/19 of 2024. And then it's just stating that hard inquiries, which are the hard pulls, and address changes are required to help get the trade line to post to your credit. So this is just going over how to purchase from us once more. You're gonna first choose a trade line from our trade line list. You will choose from our trade line list which trade line you would like to order. From there, you'll confirm your payment. We accept a few forms of payment, which are wire transfer, ACH transfer, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and direct deposit into our account.
So they pick a trade line and then they do what? Like how do they let you know?
So you would email us or text us. You could copy and paste it from the list or just simply let me know, hey, I want Wells Fargo, that statement date of January 15th. And then from there, I will let you know if it's available, and then that's when I'll send you these payment options.
And then so I send you $220 to the business account for MJ Tradelines. And then what do I do after that?
From there, I'll confirm the payment and I will request that you send whom we will be placing on the trade line, which will be you providing the first and last name, date of birth, and the CPN or social security number you would like the trade line to go on to. And from there, I'll add you on the trade line and then send you the confirmation email. As you saw in that video, how it just has everything right there for you just to copy and paste to your credit report.
All right, guys. Thank you. Again, you can email us at info@mjtradelines. We also, those of you that are on, we also have a texting. So if you go to mjtradelines.com, you can add you add your phone number and you can get text support. You can text us questions, you can text us orders, etc. So just go to MJ Tradelines and then just add your phone number. Also, if you have questions right now, would you guys put them in the chat and me and Harold can go over them? So just put your questions in the chat and then we'll go over them. Meanwhile, you guys add your questions real quick. A lot of people ask us for credit repair because like we only add trade lines to people's credit report. But we do have this do it yourself credit repair kit, and then it comes with 2 bonuses. So the credit repair kit is basically everything that you can repair your own credit. Sorry about that. And it comes with letters, etc. And then number 2, even those that have a credit repair company in here, I think someone mentioned it, you can honestly sell this kit to your clients as well. Like you have permission from us. The bonuses that it comes with is how to remove inquiries in 48 hours. Whoops. How to remove inquiries in 48 hours and how to create your own CPN manual. So Harold, if you can send this link in the group.
Yes, let me send it.
Okay, and then so let me click it real quick. Tell this over here. And this is that that do-it-yourself credit repair bundle, how to remove inquiries in 72 hours, and how to create your own CPN. A lot of people buy CPNs from people for like 100 to 200 to $300. well, we have a guide that shows you basically how to do it. All that for $79. Again, this isn't really like what we do, but we made kits to do it, basically to do it yourself. There's even credit repair companies that charge to remove inquiries in 72 hours for like $50 each. So you're getting all that for $79. It's pretty, it's kind of a no-brainer. So we sent that link in the chat. And Kia's asking, I only need the guide. How much do you sell the CPN manual alone? We sell everything all together. It's just $79. There's people that sell the CPN guide for like $300. So we're adding it all for $79. So it's pretty cheap. But anyways, so if you guys want to email us your questions, I'm sorry, text your questions, and I'll go over them real quick. Rupert is saying, once you purchase a Tradeline, how long does it stay on your credit report? So we guarantee it stays on your credit report for at minimum 30 days. So say you're trying to get qualify for a house. So you would add your Tradeline, make sure it hits your report, and then you go to your mortgage officer, loan officer, and then go apply. So they could see that the Tradeline is on your report. Don is saying, so if we were a victim of the MGM hack and someone used our credit and now have a freeze, we cannot use these Tradelines until we unfreeze our credit report and clean up the mess they caused. No, you can call it sucks, but you could just call each bureau. And just if you just Google Experian unfreeze my account, the phone number will come right up. But just call each bureau, unfreeze it, let them know that, hey, I'm gonna qualify, I'm gonna try to get I'm trying to get a car, I'm trying to get or whatever. And so you need it to be unfrozen before we can add the Tradelines, because the Tradeline, like adding to your report, the credit bureaus will think it's fraud and they won't add the Tradeline to your report. So just unfreeze it, call the bureaus, unfreeze it, and then as soon as the Tradeline hits, you can put the freeze back on. Britannica is saying, did you receive any reviews for credit repair? So we don't do credit repair, we just have that credit repair do-it-yourself kit. And then GLB iPhone is saying, can you help me get a CPN? Yeah, if you I just sent that link over, and it shows you how to make your own CPN. And again, it comes with the credit repair do-it-yourself kit and how to remove inquiries in 48 hours and how to create your own CPN manual for it's $79. The next question is, let's see. Michaela says, so the Tradelines are good for 30 days and then they fall off. Does your credit score stay the same if it increases? That's a good question. So it stays on your report and it doesn't fall off, but it will say, like on that example that I showed you earlier, it says authorized user and it said open. So it'll say open, and then once after, for example, say 45 days later, and it'll show up as closed. And so it'll still stay on your report. You still get credit for having positive history with a Tradeline, but your credit score won't drop off. Corey says, good afternoon. Do the cardholder contact the bank to add us as well? Yes, Corey, that's exactly what we do. Ivan is, what is the price for the credit repair DIY kit? It's $79 for all those things in the bonuses. I'll resend the thing in the link, and again, this is it right here. Felicia's asking, how does the VIP work? I forgot to mention that we have a VIP thing. It's so a lot of people were asking us, or they get a little confused adding the address that we give you, and they don't want to deal with it. And so we came up with a little VIP program or whatever. It's just $100. So say you order a trade line, say it costs $350. For another $100, we basically do it. We do everything for you. We guarantee that it'll post. We just ask you for your credit login, and we'll make sure that it adds to your credit report. So it's just it is $100 for that. That's how the VIP works. How will we know if it's from our state? So on the trade line list, on the farthest right column, it'll show where the trade line is from: New York, Texas, Alabama. It'll have the state. Felicia's asking, so if my statement date is 4/7, if I check on my credit report 4/14 or 4/17, you got it exactly right. So 7 to 10 days later, after the statement date, that's when your trade line will post.
On 4/14 is when you'll know if the optional hard pull is needed. So on day 7 is when we see if it's needed for it to post on day 10.
Awesome. Brian is asking, what about Credit Karma or Credit Sesame for monitoring? I mean, those are fine, right? Or
So Credit Sesame is fine, but we don't accept Credit Karma just because they don't update the same way as the other ones. They're more of like a third party, even though the other ones are somewhat they just work a little bit differently.
and really, because Credit Karma, it just renews your credit report every 30 days, so it's hard to know. So like if we need you to pull a new credit report, you can't, right? So that's one of the main reasons.
Yes, they only offer 2 bureau reports.
And then I'll let it. Meji says, how many points did this user go up by? Do you have any before and after to show us? So in every email, we show before and after. Well, no, we show afters, like we show them showing it. I can work on getting before and afters from clients, but then it defeats the purpose because you're not gonna we can't send you someone's whole credit report and you're like, okay, that trade line wasn't there, and then now it's added. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if you saw earlier on the webinar where when I showed one from the list, it was 11,000, and then Harold was showing how it shows up on your credit report. That's basically how it will show. And then regarding how many points will it go up? It depends. It depends on a number of factors. So say, for example, say I have 20 things on my credit report, and I have 15 credit cards, 3 car loans, and 2 mortgages. And so I say I add one trade line. It's not going to affect me that much because I have a big credit history. But say on your credit report, say you only have one thing on your credit report. Say you only have one $200 credit card, and you add a $10,000 authorized user trade line. It's going to make a big difference for you because it's 50% of your credit history. When on mine, it would be 1/20th. You know what I mean? So again, it depends. Like how many points would it go up? It depends on everyone's credit is different. And that's why we don't guarantee how many points it will go up exactly, if that makes sense. Stephanie is asking, is this a one-time payment for use? Do you only post to 2? Okay, so the first question is this a one-time payment for use? Yes. So it is it's a one-time payment and it's good for the credit. We guarantee it'll stay at least 30 days. So it happens sometimes sometimes what happens is the cardholder doesn't take you off sometimes, like until they get another order. So say they get another order 4 months later, it may stay on your credit report for 4 months. but again, we just guarantee at least 30 days. And then the second question is, do you only post to two, I'm assuming you mean two bureaus, because on that example, it only showed two bureaus. But no, we send it, it'll be sent to all three bureaus because that's what these credit card companies do. But sometimes like Capital One, or there's different credit cards, they'll just post it to two bureaus. So sometimes it's only it's the credit card company, they'll only post it to two bureaus, or I mean, there's a number of factors why it'll only post to one bureau, two bureaus, or all three bureaus. But like what our guarantee is we guarantee it'll post to two out of the three bureaus, or your money back kind of thing, or we'll credit you. Kadij Disha Stevenson says, "What if you have late payments? Could you still get the tray line?" In all honesty, I would recommend for you to remove your late payments, because if you add tray lines, your credit score will go up and you will still benefit from it, but there's a high likelihood that you may not still get that car, loan, house, and then you're gonna be kind of pissed at us saying like, oh, I added these tray lines and they didn't do anything. Well, no, that's not the real problem. The problem is you have two recent lates, and so the bank is looking at it like, okay, this dude just paid his payment late. Like, who cares about these tray lines over here? We're gonna disqualify him to get that loan. You know what I mean? So it's a bigger problem. So I would, in all honesty, I would work with the credit repair company to remove those lates. Um, and then it also depends on how recent were those late payments. So was it a few months ago? Yeah, you're not going to get qualified, even if you add some tray lines, even if you add 10. Um, but if this was 7 years ago and you had a late payment, like a school payment or something, it's like, okay, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, the credit card company or loan company is gonna say, hey, this Stevenson, that was many years ago. They've been paying their payments lately. Oh, look, they have these new recent tray lines. Let's give them the credit card. You know what I mean? So just like that other person was asking, how many points does it go up? It kind of depends. But in all honesty, I would remove the late payments first. If it's more than 3 to 5 years, your late payments, I would still add the tray lines, and I think you would get some funding or some loans or car or house, or etc. So Stephanie, yeah, we addressed that. So is a one-time payment for use. Yeah, so it's one trade line. It's we guarantee at least 30 days, and it could stay longer. Let's see. Felicia says, I'm trying to purchase another home and trying to figure out how this will help me start my business funding. Awesome. My Equifax is 540 and it needs to be at least 580 to get that approval. So I can tell you right now, so like just with that credit score, I would, if I were you, I'd be working with the credit repair company to try to get those. Like I know for sure you would have you have some late payments or like things in collections. So I would try to remove those. We also, again, we have that this do-it-yourself kit, only $79. You could try to remove it, do everything yourself as well. If sometimes money is an option. Money is tight, for example, and you could do it yourself. But if you have the money, go for a credit repair company and have them remove it. So to try to get to that 780. And another thing that I would do is I would go up to Felicia, I would go up to a mortgage officer and ask him, hey, you know what? I'm 540. Can you look at my report? Can you tell me what I need to do? And they'll kind of help you a little bit too. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and look at the new questions. We have like 22, so I'm gonna go through them as best as possible. Okay, let's see. Felicia says, I received an email for VIP if I pay an additional $100. Basically, then we do everything for you, Felicia. Like we'll add the tray line to your report. We'll edit the special address that we send to you. We'll make sure it gets posted. If it doesn't post for any reason, we'll credit you another one and we'll get it posted for you. So it's more of a done for you service. Again, you don't need it. It's not necessary. So like say if you buy a tray line, you don't use the VIP service, we'll send you instructions on how to do it. It sounds like a lot that we did the instructions earlier on how to get it posted, but again, it's we'll walk you through it. But it's $100 extra for a VIP service, and you don't have to deal with it. So that's we got so many people asking us for that, so we decided to do that. Zikia says, is it to make anyone a CPN or just ourselves? Technically, you can make a CPN for others with that bonus that we're sending in that right here. So technically, you can make it for others and charge other people for it. For $79, that's like the craziest deal. People sell those things for like $250 each. Cynthia says, do you take payment installments? No, we don't, but I've been wanting to add another program where we have a trade line that's on your credit report like infinitely, like it stays on forever, but with a small monthly payment. So like say you're paying $30 a month, and then we have a trade line that's on your credit report like forever. And then you just email us like, hey, I want to remove it now. And then we'll stop the payment. So I haven't started that yet, but I want to start that. But to answer your question, we don't at the moment. So do you take payment installments? Aisha says, if you already have a CPN with the tray line posted, is there a waiting period that needs to happen before adding a new one? Is Identity IQ okay to use as a credit monitoring system when getting tray lines from you? So Aisha is asking a good question. If you already have a CPN with the tray line posted, is there a waiting period that needs to happen before adding a new one? No, not at all. You can add 3, 10 simultaneously. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because if you think about it, Aisha, it's like say you were going to get 10 credit cards and you go online and you just apply for 10 credit cards. You could get 10 credit cards simultaneously. You know what I mean? You may not qualify for all 10, but you can get them. So it's the same concept. So no, you don't have, there's no waiting period. And Identity IQ is a great site that we recommend. Bree says, what's the turnaround time to receive the credit repair kit? It should take, it's a lot of files. And you have to unzip them. So I think it takes like maybe 10 to 20 minutes. Like, so say when you guys purchase this kit, it will show in your email maybe about like 10 to 20 minutes later. Let me send it to everybody again. Okay. Okay, so the next question is, let's see. Is there a monthly payment to keep the tray line on your credit profile longer? Coach Ron is asking. Also, no, I don't have that at the moment, but I'm gonna add it. That's a really good idea. And so I'm gonna add that. I just haven't added it yet. But so right now it's just for like a it's just like a one-time thing, and we guarantee at least 30 days. It stays on your report at least a minimum 30 days. Also, what if I have credit cards that I can sell for tray lines? Can we do that through you? Yes, exactly. So Ron, just email us info@MJ Tradelines, and then just say, hey, Harold's right next to me, and what he does is he will look at your credit report, and then so we'll look on your credit report, and we'll see which credit cards that we can use, and then we'll come up with a quote on how much we can pay you monthly if you were to be like our partner with as far as selling trade lines. So again, just email us info@mjtradelines.com. Next question is, what's more important, age of the trade line or the amount associated with it? It's a really good question. That question, it depends. So it depends on the credit report. So for example, say you are young, say you're like 21 years old and you don't have a big credit history, um, age wouldn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, because the bank is going to look at you and say, hey, you know what? You're young, you're 21 years old, you're new at credit, maybe we'll give you a $200 credit card, you know what I mean? So age is important. Um, say you are older and you just have $200 credit cards on your credit report, $200 credit card, $500 credit card, etc. But say you're older, say you're 40 or 50 years old, but so you have age on your report, but what you lack is limits, like large limits. So the bank's going to look at your credit report and say, okay, great, they have great age and they've been responsible with their credit for a long time, but they don't have any like why would we give them a $25,000 credit card, or why would we give them a $40,000 loan or a $75,000 car loan or a $300,000 mortgage loan when you haven't proven to the bank that you've only been responsible with for $200 or $500, you know what I mean? So it has to make sense. So like look at your credit report and think of how the bank would look at it. You know, are you young? Do you lack age? Look at your credit cards on your credit report and say, do I lack age or do I lack limits? You know what I mean? And if you're unsure, order a trade line that has both, you know. The only downside is those tend to be more expensive because people want them more. So yeah, so it's a really good question. The next question is, being added as an authorized user, will it become fraud later on? No, not at all. It's 100% legal. Or will it just be a closed account on your credit report? Exactly. It'll be a closed account on your credit report. Michaela saying, I don't see anything from Florida as far as trade lines. And yeah, so I mean, we have a pretty big list, 800 trade lines per month. And for some reason, I guess we don't have somebody from Florida, but it's recommended but not necessary. So if I were you, I would just order some trade lines and just someone from like Texas or New York or something, and just order from the same place. And again, it's really recommended but not necessary. So your credit score will still increase, etc. So it's not the end of the world, Michaela. Corey says, if we want to purchase longer than 30 days, will it be discounted for additional months? Right now, we don't have anything where we do that, but as you can see, it's been mentioned 3 times already, so I need to add something like that. I need to add something like that. So I'll start to add something the next month or two. So I hear you guys. But no at the moment, Corey. Felicia is asking, how can I purchase additional trade lines with the same address as my previous lines purchased? That's a really good question. So email us and say, hey, you know what? So Harold is next to me, Riza's in our emails, answers emails. Say, hey, I want to purchase, just like you're asking right now, hey, I want to purchase some more trade lines, but I want to add the same address. Can you tell me which ones I need to choose from? And we can help you out. It will help if you email from the same email chain so they can know which line you ordered. Ronald's asking, I'm trying to buy the bundle kit, but it's not going through. You know what? Sometimes we've been having some issues with, because we use Stripe and they're very strict. So like they don't take like those green dots or those prepaid cards. But Ronald, if you just email us or send your email in the chat, Ronald, and we'll email you, and you could you don't have to pay with credit card. You could pay with our other options, but just send us your email, Ronald, and we'll send you a follow-up email to help you buy the kit. Roth is asking, does it make a difference with medical bills as far as credit repair? Yeah, um, so like if you're gonna because I used to do like funding for people, so if man, it's because I'm not sure I'm fully understanding your question. Does it make a difference with medical bills as far as credit repair? So like say you're trying to qualify for a car, um, and they run your credit report and they look at, say you have negative medical bill history, you didn't pay some medical bills. It's not the worst. It's not the end of the world, because what they'll really look for is like, hey, did you have a repossession of a car? Did you make any car payments late? No. How are your credit cards? You know, I think we've all been there where we don't pay a hospital bill, or something comes in the mail and you forget it and you don't see it. So they take that into consideration. Devin is asking, how do I set up my own credit card for an authorized user? How do I set up my own credit card as an authorized user? If you want to be a cardholder, sorry, I didn't understand it. But just email us, Devin. Or send us your email in the chat, Devin, and we'll say, hey, I want to become a cardholder. And then we'll help you out. Ty says the score falls off, question mark, or just the name of the creditor? No, it'll just show, like, for example, after say 30 days, like, because we guarantee at least 30 days. So after 30 days, it'll, instead of saying open, it'll say closed. And so it'll just go with all your closed past transactions on your credit report. Like, so say you paid off a car, or you paid off a house, and it goes to the bottom of your credit report, and it shows all your loans or credit cards that have been paid off. It's got closed, it's closed, you know what I mean? So that's what will happen. Does the score always stay or go down after the trade line is removed? It's possible it could go down like a little bit, but it won't. You'll still be getting the credit of having the positive history of someone else's credit card on your credit report. So it's better. It's 100% better than if it was never there, 100%. But it's showing from open to closed. It may decrease like a tiny bit, but not a lot. Tamika's like, I brought the trade line list Monday. Should I order or update my credit tomorrow? Oh, so you bought a trade line last Monday. So let's see when last Monday was. Okay. Oh. Okay. Hold on, we're checking the date real quick. First. So that would be, so when she's asking, she bought a trade line on the 1st, when should she renew her credit report to see if it posted?
So that would depend if your statement date is also the 1st. You might have bought on the 1st, but you would need to check your statement date. If your statement date was the 1st, then yes, you would refresh you would buy the 3-bureau report today.
So most likely your statement date was not on the 1st. So so go back to go back to the email where you order the tray line and look at the statement date. And then so what you do is 7 to 10 days later, that's when it will post. And so when would you recommend for her to get a new credit report, Harold?
If it was indeed the 1st, the statement date, then today would be day 8. So this would be the perfect time.
Got you. Okay, cool. Stephanie is asking, are you hiring sellers of tray lines? Yes. Yeah, so we have a lot right now, but if you, Stephanie, just email us your credit report, or in the chat, send us your email and say, hey, I want to be a trade line seller. If you could provide your credit report, that would help us out a lot, because like we're basically going to ask you for your credit report, so we can look at your credit report and say, hey, we can use these two credit cards. We can't use this one because it doesn't post as Tradeline. It doesn't post as for Tradelines, etc. But so either email us info@mjtradelines.com or send us a message right now. Say, hey, I want to become a Tradeline seller. Here's my email, and then we'll follow up with you. Are you? Let's see. How can I raise my Equifax score? The other two bureaus are much higher. Felicia, so sometimes what happens is sometimes you might have a collection that's still on your Equifax, or sometimes, so say you have some credit history and they're just reporting to those two bureaus. So sometimes things like that happen. Um, but Harold, do you know, would you happen to know any tray lines on our list that hit Equifax?
So the ones that are SSN only are pretty good about hitting Equifax. So that would be our
SSN meaning,
meaning Social Security only.
okay.
So that would be our Amex, Discover, and US Bank. Um, those are more likely to get on the Equifax. Also, doing the hard pull is what gets it more likely to post on Equifax as well.
Gotcha. Kendra is asking, Harold, do you guys offer business tray lines?
So we specialize in personal trade lines. Our lists are gonna be strictly personal trade lines.
Um, Ayesha is asking, if I'm buying two tray lines and want the VIP service, do I pay 100 times two? Yes, because we would just have to do it basically twice. Um, Angie's asking, so I already have a CPN. I'm wondering on how to get the tray line on my CPN. Um, um, Go
So
ahead.
it would be basically purchasing a CPN friendly trade line from us, creating an account on let's say My Score IQ, one of our listed logins, and simply adding the address there is how you would get it to post to your CPN. You would make the login using your CPN number.
Boom. Aisha says, thank you. Ivan says, thank you for the meeting. We'll definitely use your service. Keep in touch. Good luck. You too, Ivan. Nice meeting you. Corey says, if we want to purchase longer than 30 days, will it be discounted for the additional months? So we don't have that at the moment, but we'll start to add that the next month or so, because we've gotten like 4 or 5 people ask that. Michaela says, thank you. Shannon says, since you don't do actual credit repair, can you recommend some reputable companies? There's a lot of fraud or they are so expensive and it's hard to know who to trust. Man, it's weed. I completely agree with you, Shannon. It's to the point where we don't even want to recommend a particular company or two because we get half of our customers are credit repair companies, but and a lot of them are doing like the right thing. They're fighting to make sure to remove negatives, but a lot of the time it's not necessarily their fault because the credit bureaus are constantly making new rules and and uh and sometimes they're difficult to work with. So sometimes they are being ethical and trying to remove stuff, but they're not able to, you know what I mean? So it's like, and then some people can think like, oh, well, this company's not doing anything. I sent them my money, blah, blah, blah. But so we don't even want to be caught in the middle recommending somebody, and then you're mad at us saying, oh man, I thought you recommended this company, you know what I mean? So we kind of stay out of it in honesty, because it just there's so many different variables in between, you know what I mean? There's the credit bureaus, there's 3 of them, you know, they're sending mail. Did they even get your mail? The post office, you know what I mean? There's so many different variables in between. But yeah, so we don't really recommend. We don't, right? Yeah, we don't really recommend.
Just for liability reasons.
Yeah, just for liability reasons. Brian, will we get a replay of the video? Yeah, we'll send a replay out. We'll just you know, edit some of it at the beginning, you know, so they don't have to hear, hey, where are you from, etc. But yeah, we'll send you the replay. We'll email it out to everybody. Who is the best funder for loans with CPN? That's a good question. What I would do if I were you, I would Google it. I would just say, um, CPN funding or credit card CPN funding, and I would start calling all of those people because way back in the day, because we did funding way back in the day, and we had a big call center in Pakistan and everything, and Harold here helped work for the funding and stuff, and so we did get people CPN funding. But what happens, a lot of the credit card companies were getting a lot of with CPNs were getting funding and not paying it back, and so it was getting tougher and tougher to get CPN funding. But what I would do, I don't know who's the best funder, but I would just Google it and call those CPN. I would put CPN funding on Google and call a bunch of them. That's what I would do if I were you. Brian's asking, do you have auto trade lines? No, we don't, but we do have one primary account. It's a jewelry account, and it shows up as your account. So it'll say Brian, your last name, and so that one we sell for $1,500. It's a little expensive, I get it, but it's because we have to work with somebody else. Like we have to actually work with the jewelry company. So they basically get a portion of it. So that's why it's a little bit pricier. But the cool thing about the primary as opposed to the trade lines is it stays on your credit report for a minimum of
6 months to 1 year.
yeah, so 6 months. And the guy that I work with that adds the primary, he tells me all the time, he's like, hey Vic, he's like, it'll stay on their credit report for a year. He's like, but just tell your clients it'll stay at least 6 months. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, so that's the one thing where we have to work with somebody else to get it posted. I want to become a Tradeline seller. So text us your email and say, hey, I want to become a Tradeline seller, and we'll follow up with you. But we basically need you to email us your credit report so we could check to see which trade lines that you have. Okay, cool, Stephanie. I got your email and we will follow up with you. Ernie says, how can I help you? Hi, I can help you. Oh, okay. Corey says, a lot of good information was shared. How do I get a copy of the recording? So what we'll do is we will work on getting it uploaded to YouTube, and we'll send it out to you like a mass email. So you guys should get it maybe tomorrow or the next day. We'll try to do it as soon as possible. Ernie says, hey, sorry, I just got late into the webinar, but I'm an affiliate and have a credit repair business. Cool. So we could, so this webinar was specifically for like new people, asking, newer questions. But if you're kind of like seasoned and you have a credit repair business, a lot of credit repair business owners buy trade lines from us because we have wholesale prices. And then what they do is they sell them to their clients, or you don't even have to sell them to your clients. You could just say, hey, I'm going to add this trade line to your report. Say you're month 6 in repairing their credit. Hey, I'm going to add these 2 trade lines, Chris, and I need you to, they cost $600 because this guy's going to add you as an authorized user because we're getting ready to qualify. You're going to qualify for a loan or something. So you could just tell your clients that, and then you basically upsell them the tray line. So say our tray line costs $200, and then just charge them $300, and so you keep the $100 difference, or you could even double the price. You know what I mean? So yeah, Angie says, so basically, I would like to get a whole new CPN to get a tray line. So how much is it to have you do it for me? So we get a lot of people asking us to make them a CPN, but we honestly don't do it for people for the liability reasons. Like we don't want to get someone a CPN and then they get trade lines from us and then they go commit fraud. Like so I don't even want to deal with getting someone a CPN. But I have that kit here, how to create your own CPN. And people sell this thing for like $200-300, $500. And we're sending you all this for just 79 bucks. It's a pretty good deal. We have reviews and stuff. Let's see. Felicia says, thank you. I'm emailing you now for Equifax reporting trade lines. That was helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're awesome, Felicia. Ernie says, thank you. Zyron Bay says, I'm a customer of yours for 5 years and would like to be a broker. And if I get 2 today, can I get a free one? That's cool. You know what, man? I like your boldness. Yes. So like anyone that wants to get say you want to, I'll give you that. I'll give you guys a deal. If you guys get 2 trade lines, you guys can get one free if you guys are on the webinar. So it'll be only you guys that are on there today. All right, cool. Amina says, while applying for a loan with CPN, do I have to make funder aware that it is a CPN? I would say that's your choice. Because some people hide it and some people, I would think in all honesty, if you tell the lender, hey, is this a CPN? In my opinion, I think they will automatically deny you, right?
In my
Yeah.
opinion too.
Yeah. So, don't, take that as legal advice or anything like that, but I would, and if you're, yeah, so that I wouldn't, if like, it would get automatically denied if you'd say that, in my opinion. Yeah. Um, Corey says, I didn't register though. I just pulled up. So are you guys sending the recording out to your entire list, or should I send you my email privately? We'll send the recording out to everybody. So you'll get it, Corey. What percentage do I make as an authorized user if I offer my trade lines to others? So it depends. We look at each trade line. So each one has a different value. So Corey, just email us your credit report and then we'll give you a quote and on how much, because it just depends. That's a good deal. Buy 2 trade lines, get one free, MJ says. That's cool. No, thank you guys. So I guess that's all the questions. And again, we will send you out the recording. And again, just email us if you have questions. So if you go to mjtradelines.com, you can also add your phone number and we have tech support. You can send us orders or just questions, and then we check them Monday through Saturday. But so on mjtradelines.com, you can add your phone number. And then here's that DIY kit, just 79 bucks. If you want it, cool.
And then if you want to utilize the buy 2, get 1 free for attending the webinar, just go ahead and shoot us an email or text when you're ready to order today.
Yeah, just say, hey, I was in the webinar, heard about the buy 2, get 1 free, count me in kind of thing, and we'll honor it. Thank you guys so much. It was nice hanging out with you guys.
Bye.